Hi guys, and welcome back to my channel. So today we're going to be doing a paycheck to paycheck budget. So I want to share with you guys how we do those, when we do those. I don't think I've done one in months, but whenever I do those, I typically do like to share those with you guys. So right now I don't really need to do this, but I think that it is a great time, or I'm taking this as a great opportunity to show you guys how I would do it. So as you guys know, I have a full-time job. My husband has a full-time job. My husband is working to pick up like a side hustle. He's always doing that. I am too. And then I currently do have a side hustle, and it's really like my online business stuff. And that has been pretty profitable since I started last year, to include YouTube and all of that. So with that said, you guys kind of know all about that. But you also know that we try to mainly budget using the money from our full-time jobs, or really my full-time job, because we actually just live off of my income. And the reason why we do that, for those who don't know, is because traditionally I have always had more of a fixed income, and my husband's income has always been more variable. But as of right now, mine is actually more variable and his is actually more fixed. But because I know that's not going to last very long, we're just going to keep doing what we have been doing. So right now, all of my husband's income is being saved, and we live off of my income. So on the 11th and on the 25th are going to be more of those fixed paydays from my full-time job. The 15th and the 31st are those fixed paydays from my husband's full-time job. But those two paydays are deposited into one of our other accounts, and we actually don't live off of his income. It's actually all being saved, and we are continuing to purchase the things that we have been saving for. It's not like really things, like it's not like we're saving for a TV or anything like that. It's just like dental procedure, and like that's kind of like, it's an ongoing saving situation until we get to where we need to be. So that's really what's going on with my husband's income. So with that being said, today is actually Sunday the 7th. Our last bill was due on the 5th, which is Friday. So we didn't have a bill the 6th. We won't have one this week. And then the next one will be electric, gym, and then the rest of the bills we will have to start paying. But as for right now, I thought that we would I thought that I would show you guys how we would budget from paycheck to paycheck, because that's what we're going to be doing. Yes, YouTube money will start rolling in throughout this week. And by YouTube, I mean all of the affiliate marketing and everything that I do with YouTube. All of that money typically starts rolling in around like the 3rd week or so of the month. And that's basically like 5 or 6 different income sources at this point. So that will start rolling in, but we don't try to budget off of that income, because sometimes we don't know the day that it's going to hit. Sometimes I think it's going to hit one day and it literally does not, because I can't control that. I can more so control my full-time, like they give me a pay schedule. YouTube and everybody else, they don't really give a pay schedule. They kind of tell you when they're going to send out the money, but we never really know when it's going to hit. And YouTube, the Google AdSense program, that is more fixed, or more fixed, I would say. But the rest of it, I can't keep up with the rest of them. So with that being said, although we will get more money throughout this time of the month, we're not actually going to account for any of that, because again, it's too variable and it's really not that dependable until it hits. When it hits, then we figure out what we're going to do with the money. But until then, we just don't even rack our brains trying to, wait for it to come in, or wait to see how much it's going to be, or anything like that. So with that said, we're going to be budgeting from the 11th to the 24th. And so, yes, today is the 7th, but I already know the minimum amount for this paycheck. And that is going to be $1,161.43. That's going to be the minimum amount. It's going to be more, but I already can go ahead and start budgeting using the minimum amount. So that is what I recommend. Go with the minimum amount. If you have a salary job and the paycheck is always the same, then you can obviously just budget off of what it always is. But if you are, let's say, not salaried, or you're hourly, and sometimes you're working overtime and all of that, just go ahead and budget off of the minimum amount. And so that is what I recommend for like paycheck to paycheck budgets, and that's also what I recommend for monthly budgets. So anyway, that's going to be the income. And so what I do then is I write down all of the bills, and because I'm extra, I use a green pen for income, and then I'm going to use, I guess I'll use a red one for all of the bills or expenses. So I always like to start with bills, and then I like to bring in or budget for some of the other expenses like groceries, gas, all of that. So let's go ahead and see what bills are going to be due. So the only bills that are actually going to be due from the 11th to the 24th, and I'm stopping on the 24th because the 25th is another payday, is electricity and gym fees. So the first one is electricity, and then the next one is gym fees. So I didn't write in. Did I write in how much electricity was going to be? I did not. So let me find a phone. And they always text me the amount, but did I delete it? No. Okay. So the bill is going to be $164.84 for this month, even though we did budget $200. Is actually, we got a credit, a $25 credit to our account, so that's why it's going to be $164.84, and it's actually due on 10/17, and then gym fees $19.99, due on 10/17 as well. So now that we've accounted for all of the bills, the next thing that I like to do is just see how much money we have left after subtracting the bills from our income. So again, we're going with 16143. So we're just going to subtract 16484 and $19.99. That will leave us $976.60. So the next thing that we want to do is really just account for all of our expenses. So let's say you know that you get gas once a week every Saturday, then you already know, you can already go ahead and budget for that. If you're filling up for $40 on the 13th and the 20th, you can add that in. If you get groceries every Sunday, then you can go ahead and add in, you know, $100 for groceries for the 14th and the 21st. Again, this is a budget. It's not like set in stone. It's just giving your money, telling your money where to go, and having a general idea of what you want your paycheck to do, or what you want your money to do, and how you want it to work for you. So I know that I get gas once a week, and I will need gas Monday. So it looks like I'm getting gas on Monday, so I can go ahead and budget for gas for both of those weeks. And gas is about $25 here. I could probably budget about $28 to be safe. That's if I really try to fill it up. So I'm probably going to actually budget, we'll just do $30 because that's an even, you know, a better number to budget. So we're going to go ahead and budget for expenses. Again, I'm extra, so, well, I don't do this for me. I do this so that I think it just appears better on camera like this. So let's go ahead and budget for expenses. So we're going to do gas, and then we'll actually go ahead and do food as well. So for gas, for me, again, we're going to do $30 for me. So we'll do 30 plus 30, which is 60. And I'm not going to do my husband because today he is filling up. Today is the 7th, and I'm budgeting. This is again from the 11th through the 24th. He said he's getting gas today, and when he gets gas, he fills up. He does way less commuting for work. He does no commuting for work. I actually commute to work, and I commute in the city that I work in as well. So I'm driving around for work as well. So he doesn't do really any of that, and he works basically up the street, so he's not going to need gas for the rest of the month. So we're not even going to budget gas for my husband. So actually, I'm going out of town next weekend. I'm going to Atlanta, so I'm actually going to need to budget another full tank probably. So with that being said, we're actually going to budget $90 for gas for me. And then for food, I'm going to budget, let me zoom you back out a little bit. I'm going to budget from here to here for food. I'm actually going to budget with me eating in Atlanta, and then I'm going to a planner meetup on the 20th, and with me probably eating there, and then with us eating. Of course, my mother-in-law is still with us, so she buys a lot of food. So I would probably budget, I'd probably do 100 maybe. Let me see. Because for here, I'll already have shopped here for this week. So really, it's just this week and this week. So I would probably budget about 180 for those 2 weeks and for me going out of town. So that is going to be 180 for food. Now, the next thing that we want to budget for is basically anything else that may pop up. So what I like to do is I just go down my list and just see other things that we will need to pay for, like business. I'm going to budget 100 for business because I already know that that will be probably the amount that I will spend between that time for business related things. My allowance and my husband's allowance, I'm actually like already maxed out for me, but I would probably budget about $60 for that. And we don't do cash envelopes. If we did, this would be way easier, and we wouldn't even have to do like budget for a lot of these things if we did cash envelopes, but we don't. I guess I should have mentioned that at the beginning. My hair is getting done before the 11th, so we don't have to budget for that. And my husband typically gets his haircut at the end of the month. We already budgeted for gas, food / dates. Toiletries, those will be purchased. I need to go today to purchase food and toiletries, a couple of things. So that won't come out of the check for the 11th. Miscellaneous, travel, we don't need to take care of that. And then savings. So we wouldn't really save any because we would save it at the end of the month. So as it stands, this would probably be a realistic budget for us. Of course, if things pop up, I don't know, an oil change, or somebody needs something that may not have been in the budget, like a clothing item or a new belt or something, then we will be able to take care of those things depending on how much money we have left over. Of course, we do have a savings account, so if anything really major ever occurred, we would have to take it out of the savings account, but we try not to go in the savings account because that kind of defeats the purpose of having the savings account if we're all, always in there looking for money and trying to transfer money out of there. So let's go ahead and subtract the rest of this from the $976.60. So that would be 90 for gas, 180 for food, 100 for business, and then 60 for allowance. So that will put us in the positive. So we'll just use a green for that at $546.60. So I may check in. That would probably be cool to check in around like the 25th or so to see how much money we actually have left over. But from that paycheck, or how much we actually spent from that paycheck. But pretty much this is basically how the month will, or how those 2 weeks will go for us, because I have a good measure of how we spend money and our spending habits and all of that. So anyway, as of right now, from that check, we should have about $546.60, assuming nothing major takes place and we don't have to cover, any miscellaneous expense or anything like that. Because if it's a small miscellaneous expense, we'll take it from our main checking account. If it's large and there's not enough money in our main checking account, then we'll have to take it from our savings account. But really, we don't really have many situations like that. Every now and again, we have like a large expense that kind of pops up. But like me purchasing a new computer when my computer died, like stuff like that. But for the most part, we don't really have any like expenses that are pricey. So anyway, that's pretty much how I would do a paycheck to paycheck budget, or what we are looking forward to for the next 2 weeks. And then whenever I would come back on the 25th, if we have any money left over, which we should have this amount. Again, this is an optimistic budget. This is assuming that nothing goes awry. If we have about this amount left over, I would just add that to this paycheck whenever that paycheck hits. Or let's say I come back on the 24th to do this, and I have this amount in our account, roughly this amount in our account. I would just go ahead and add the minimum amount of this payday, add those two together, and then I could do another paycheck to paycheck budget from here up until my first paycheck in November, which looks like it will be the 8th. And then I could just keep repeating and repeating. Again, I used to do these more heavily, but I don't really do them too much now. But anyway, I just wanted to share with you guys how you could do a paycheck to paycheck of your own. I'm not really into mock budgets. Those just require too much work and they're just annoying. So I normally like to make it relatable to me, which I don't know if that's good or not, if making everything about me is helpful, but I just like to make it relatable to me and use my own real numbers and our own real numbers, because anything else takes too much work and I can't be bothered. So anyway, that's how we do paycheck to paycheck budgets. If you're paid every 2 weeks, then I would recommend doing them the same way. It just gives you a good idea of where your money is going to go. Of course, we only had two bills that are going to be due during that time. You guys know, I tell you guys this all the time. We literally live our best lives from the 6th of the month all the way up until like the 16th or the 17th when the electricity bill is due. And this is like my favorite time of the month, every single month. I love it. One day I think we're going to pay all of our bills on the same day, like the 1st of the month, and be done with them. But we could do, well, I guess we could start that now, but we'd have to get a month ahead on bills or transfer money from our savings and get a month ahead that way. And I just can't be bothered. But, you know, we don't have that many bills due. We don't have that many expenses typically. But still, this is what I like to do every now and again, just to get a general idea of where our money is going. So I may come back and do another one. I'm not really sure. I haven't really done these in a while. So I don't know. Let me know if you guys like to see these, if you want to see more of them. Of course, this was kind of not like an exciting one because we don't have a lot due during that 2 week period. But I could do one, you know, at the end of the month or the beginning of the month, especially because that one is the struggle. So anyway, I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you learned from it. If you have any questions, let me know. Until next time, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye, guys.